Hello, everyone. This is Aman again with English Olympiad team, and we have another guest today. And she is Arshi Ayub Dabiri. She is Oxford alumni. She's working as CEO, and she has a great company, and she's working also royal family. So we'd like to listen from her as she is the guest here from Dubai. And Arshi is uh, communicating for a long time um, to give you time, and I was knocking her again and again to get a schedule and everything. So it was very fantastic time to have you with us at English Olympiad. So I'd like to welcome you to English Olympiad team. Arshi Ayub Gabri. She is an alumni from Oxford University. See you at Trust Group and everything she will introduce with you. And she will share many things about global leadership, what we have to do, what our leaders should do, and what our youth can learn for the global leadership. Welcome, Arshi Ayub Gabri.
Thank you so much, Aman. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. And I was looking forward to have had the conversation before, but unfortunately, the schedule was quite tight before. However, I'm very happy to go live with everybody who's watching and myself, Arshi Ayub Mohamed Zaveri. I'm the CEO of Trust with Trade Group and Royal Family Senior Advisor in the UAE. Apart from that, there's a lot of initiatives that I undertake within the mentorship space for young students and entrepreneurs that are looking forward for the right guidance and direction. My core work within the organization and advisory is more specific to oil and gas, waste management, and within the mining sector. That's why it has been somewhat unusually coming from a woman that it generally doesn't happen. We don't see a lot of women in this sector, but things are changing, and we are looking forward to have as many leaders as we can in this space, more specific. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to an interactive session with all of you to take questions as we're living in a time where interaction has become via technology. This is not something that we used to do before, but fortunately, I'm able to connect with everybody and take questions, understand each one of you's mental health, because for a leadership and for any leadership style, it is extremely important to understand the other person. We learn from the example that has been set by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and also His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is our Prime Minister of Dubai. They have created a model wherein the people are first. It's always the people that come first, and then comes management of those people. So we have leaders that one can really learn and emulate their leadership style. UAE has been within the first 10 countries for COVID management that has come up with an exemplary example. And we're looking forward to much more of integration responsibly coming from residents and citizens to make sure that we ensure containment of the pandemic within the country. So most definitely, global leadership that is our agenda today is specific to everybody acting responsible, because a leader is only as good as the ones he leads. So everybody is involved when it comes to leadership. Thank you so much, Aman, and I'm open to any specifics that you'd like me to speak about.
So, thank you very much for the good introduction. And I would like to ask our audience who are watching you from Oyer, you can mention your name. We got to see Isha from Chittagong. She said, "Hello, ma'am." And there is another one, a big fan of EO, Hassan Tariq. Hello, Hassan Tariq. Love from Kumilla, another district town of Bangladesh. He's also leader, a regional coordinator of English Olympiad. And we'd like to see you comment on the screen because this is the beginning of our live show. Everyone is in Eid vacation, Eid Fitr. Eid Mubarak to all of you. And you are watching us, Arshi from Dubai, and I'm here from Chittagong. So we'd like to share a lot of things, especially the youth's leadership. youth leadership and how they can develop themselves with education and training and development for the global leadership. Of course, now the world is a global village. We are connected each other. We have to have a lot of communication. For example, with uh, Arshi, I had a lot of communication with you, and you were too much supportive to me, and we contacted for a long time. And now you are live with us, and you are sharing your knowledge. And the audience, Arshi is the CEO of Trust Group, and she is working for Royal Family as senior advisor. She is also alumni of Oxford University, the dream university for many of us. So you can ask a lot of questions. We'd like to hear from her about our youth's development, how we can improve ourselves for global fight.
Most definitely, Aman. It is extremely important to maintain your individual health, like we were speaking before. Mental health is an imperative for most who are sitting in different parts of the world and reading whatever is happening and what all we are collectively facing because of the pandemic. More specifically, to the fact that yes, as human beings, we are resilient, but at the end of the day, we do get really impacted by the kind of news that comes our way. So, to be able to make sure that we keep our mindset positive, to be able to ensure that we are able to resist the kind of news that comes our way, and also to take it in your positive stride, because everything that you consume doesn't always have to affect your mental well-being. You can always go through the same, and to be able to unattach yourself and move on, that is extremely important. It is also extremely important to ensure that you train each other and help each other, empathize with each other globally, because we live in a time where it is practically possible for everybody to connect with so many people. Hence, it is so important that we extend our assistance to as many as possible, so that they are able to educate themselves, they are able to train themselves and help each other around the similar community as well. So more specific to everybody who's watching, very very important to ensure that you get a college education, to ensure that you have sufficient knowledge to be able to make a career out of yourself, because leadership is only after you know how to deal with humans. It is more human management than anybody else. UAE as a country has set up an example for the world to emulate practically. They have ensured that more than 190 nationalities that are living in this country are able to survive beautifully. They make sure that UAE is not just their second but also their first home, which is so important in a time where we see the kind of predicament that the migrants are facing in most countries. We are looking and we are ensuring that sufficient information is being disseminated to maximum people in reality from reliable sources, so that there is no news that are able to influence somebody wrongly. Hence, it is extremely important to train yourself, educate yourself, try and build skills, because in this we have absolutely good time on our hand to ensure that we are able to hone our skills, to extend and learn new skills, which will help us in the future, because the world is constantly changing. We are able to move with the moving times, and for that you always have to stay competitive, stay in the game, and ensure you spend sufficient time investing in yourself, because I don't see an investment that yields better ROI than your own self. So it is extremely important to invest in yourself, and ensure that the first person that you look in the mirror in the morning is yourself, with a lot of pride.
So thank you very much, Arshi. She is working in a good way, and she is talking for our youths. And I would like to thank you very much for joining us today. We have many people are joining from Hilly area. Uh, Shajan Maruf, he said, "Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Rangamati." And Arshi, you'll be glad to know that Rangamati is one of the most beautiful seaside side area of Bangladesh, hill track area, and you can just compare it with Switzerland. So this is very fantastic area, and you can just enjoy it whenever you will come. Bangladesh. Thank you, Mr. Shajan Maruf. So we'd like to share a lot of knowledge here today with our youths. We are here for 1 hour, and you can just ask any question about youth leadership. So I'd like to ask you a question about Dubai job field. Dubai is controlling the COVID-19. We are just competing with Dubai in the number of infected people. When we were in 29, Dubai was 30. Now we are 24. Dubai is still 29. So congratulations, you have already tested more than 1.6 million patients, right? So this is great,
Correct.
and we have already tested only almost quarter million. So this is huge. You have tested people of your country. So this is great leadership. You are sorting them. You are just making a difference in the whole world. So this is, of course, a great leadership in your country, and we know that Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, he's working great, and Dubai is one of the most important partners. So now I would like to ask you how people are now facing problems in Dubai, especially in the job field. Is there any special reason coming to uh, defining how our people can prepare themselves for international job like?
Thank you so much, Aman. And I'd like to extend and make a small amendment to what you mentioned. Not just 1.3 million tests, but we have conducted of over 2 million tests up until now to ensure that the citizens and the residents over here in the UAE are able to, at any point, take a test and understand their condition and get themselves treated as soon as possible within the health authorities. During the lockdown, the government ensured that we were able, because we don't have sufficient. I'm sure most countries are functioning within the space that they don't have enough health and medic facilities. Unfortunately, we too faced a similar predicament, but the leadership ensured that field hospitals were created, more than 5,000 beds in a week's time, so that we are able to convert and ensure that the patients and the people who are infected with the COVID are able to get themselves treated. So most definitely. Field hospitals that were created out of exhibition arenas. A lot of people have been generous enough to come out and ensure that a lot of real estate has been given in terms of making it converting into spaces for quarantine. University grounds have been given generously to ensure that quarantine beds can be created. The leaders are personally going and inspecting each and every field hospital, and it's all public information. If anybody is looking forward to a sort of check, it is all public information. And the fact that they are so involved and they really care, the passion is pretty visible, is a testament to the fact of how our leaders should be. When you mention about the job situation in the UAE, and how the young students of tomorrow can prepare to look up to international opportunities, yes, in my opinion, for the fact that uh, to be able to prepare yourself for international jobs, you need to have enough. First is complete a basic college education. You need to get yourself have the basic education. Post that, you look out for different opportunities to start with, because when you start in UAE, you start from scratch. So when you're looking forward to do that, come with an open head, come with an open mind to be able to explore and see what suits you the best, because every region has regional challenges, sometimes for the good and sometimes for the bad. So it could be good for you, it couldn't be good for you. So for that, you have to come with a very open mind and explore opportunities that are more relevant to you. Yes, the pandemic has taken away a lot of opportunities, but a lot have also been created. The fact that UAE today has been in terms of innovation and in terms of technology, it is the only country in the world that has a 100-year roadmap chartered in advance. We have a ministry for artificial intelligence. We have a ministry that is looking forward for youth affairs, for justice. So these are the kind of things that have never been seen in the world before. There is a blockchain policy that has been specifically designed, and 40% of federal transactions are already on blockchain. So the youth of tomorrow need to get themselves educated, understand that skills are constantly going to change, and you have to keep yourself updated. In a time where information is so easily accessible, use it to your advantage. Always use it to your advantage. Never get too consumed in it, but always use it to your advantage. You need to make sure to understand when to withdraw. And that is extremely important when you're preparing yourself for the jobs of tomorrow. So my advice to anybody would be to hang in there, to ensure that they get educated, to ensure that they keep an open mind when they are looking at different territories, whether it is the Gulf or in the European Union or in the United States, to ensure that they go with an extremely open mind and then explore facets of their personality they never thought would come out.
Thank you very much. It was very informative, and our people should be open-minded. Our leaders should be more careful about the learning. Of course, it's important, and the world is now a very open market. We can enter with our knowledge and everything. So I have come to know that you have happiness ministry also, right?
Correct. That is very true.
So unique one. We read about it on many international newspapers. So we have some questions from Hassan Tariq. He's also regional coordinator in a district of Bangladesh. Leaders usually faces lots of criticism. How to respond these criticism effectively? As their students, they are leading and they are facing criticism. And what kind of suggestion you can give them?
Uh, to add to what you mentioned, we do have a Ministry of Happiness and also a Ministry of
Yeah,
Tolerance, because we live in a country which has one more than 190 nationalities. So everybody is free to practice their own belief, and the society is based on principles of peace, tolerance, and happiness. It's very important to ensure that.
yeah.
Yes, I see the question that leaders usually face criticism. Yes, of course, I think criticism is an inevitable part of anybody's leadership style, whether you are leading a company, or whether you're leading a country, or whether you're also leading your own house. You will constantly face criticism, and it is an inevitable part of your life. Make sure that criticism doesn't always have to cow you down. It doesn't always have to take your spirit away, because any sort of critical innuendo can be taken in the positive stride. We learn from the example of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Supreme Commander, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, in order to consume what is at the entirety of your own, which is extremely important. Criticism is important. It keeps you on your toes. uh, it makes you face a reality. It makes you also see others opinions, which may not always be the best, and it's perfectly fine, because everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But it is also extremely important to know that you have to endure criticism, you have to cope with it. uh, Initially it looks really, you feel bad about it, but then over time your mechanism to cope with criticism changes. You somehow develop a fact that let's take it in our stride and ensure that if there is somebody who's unhappy, there is a way to deal with it. You don't always have to be extremely loud and cross about it, nor do you always have to be extremely low about it. There is a different way to deal with every criticism that comes your way. Hence, definitely criticism can be taken with maturity. It shouldn't always be taken with an extremely impulsive reaction, because that is what is bad in the long run. Never have an impulse reaction for criticism. It has to come extremely slow and with maturity. That's how you actually deal with criticism.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan Tariq. You have got a good answer from our honorable guest today. So we are now just observing a lot of people are watching from many places, and we have live show is going on also on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. But together it's going on because we can connect. So Amani Hasnat, she's one of the best leaders of our team. She's from Vikarun Sanoni School and College, Dhaka. She's a grade 11, 12 student. they're waiting for their higher secondary final exam. And Ayman Arif, he has written, Assalamu alaikum. Best wishes. Take love from Chittagong. Chittagong is the port city, He is one of the organizers of our team in Chittagong. And we have got Fatima Tasnim. Fatima, Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Bogura. Glad to know a lot from you, ma'am. And there she is very grateful to you. So thank you very much for watching. We will be continuing our program for 1 hour, and Arshi will answer everything. She's CEO of Trust Trade Group, and this is very important to know that Arshi is working as CEO. She's also senior advisor to the Royal Family Office, and Trust with Trade Group is a great company in Dubai. She's working there, and she's an alumni of Oxford University, University of Oxford. So you can ask any question to her about global leadership. We will take questions for a long time. And today we have the guest, and we'd like to welcome her again because she's giving the valuable time because of quarantine, because of lockdown. The world is in COVID-19 affected. So we would like to share a knowledge for our youth leaders who are going to be the future of the world. And today we are getting you here with the platform of English Olympiad. Although this is an Olympiad, but we are run by the youth leaders. Our slogan is inspiring leadership. So through spreading the leadership, we can get a better world. Here, Crimson Siam, he's also one of the organizers of Chittagong team. Assalamu alaikum. I have joined from Chittagong. Best wishes, both of you. Thank you very much, Crimson Siam. So now we'd like to have more information. How Dubai or UAE has created very good differences between countries like us and you. For example, you have great leadership, of course. How we can develop our leadership. I'm not talking only political leadership. For example, as far as I know, that Dubai is decorated in a mentality of good, constructive way. For example, they are thinking that this is a company and I'm the CEO and I have to make it better. How our youth can carry this kind of thinking and planning for our improvement or global contribution? What do you think?
Yes, I think Dubai and UAE in as a country has ensured that they try and they must make everybody envisage the Dubai dream, which is specific that to how much of hard work that you are ready to put in, because it requires you to put in a lot of hard work, contrary to the fact that it comes easy. No, it never comes easy, whether you are a man or a woman, irrespective of gender. You have to work equally hard to be able to make a mark for yourself, because like I mentioned before, in the territory you are as good as new. Your experience is as good as new, because the Gulf countries have their singular markets that you have to understand, and that comes with years of experience that you spend in the arena. So most definitely, the kind of leadership in terms of maintaining international relationships across most countries in the Asian and the Arabian Peninsula, with of course with Bangladesh, we have a great relationship, and we are looking forward for Dhaka to establish their business council over here. I'm looking forward to also have a first-hand communication with the leadership in Bangladesh to ensure that we are able to invest and exchange enough technology, enough information, enough business opportunity by maintaining the bilateral relationships that the both countries share, and that only happens with dialogue. It is important to have a dialogue between leaders. So, as much as I could emphasize the need for a dialogue. Uh, that is what also is important when you are leading institutions, you're leading companies, or you're leading your own houses. A dialogue with everybody is equally important, and opinion is equally important, and that's how you are able to maintain relationships. That's what we have learned over here with so many years staying with the royal family officers and the leaders who have taught the importance of dialogue, the importance of communicating with clarity and ensuring that everybody is heard. More than spoken, everybody is heard, because that is extremely important, to hear every opinion, to hear every mind, and every suggestion for change. That is extremely important, and that has no bias, irrespective of whether you're a woman or a man, which generally happens. A lot of countries presume that a woman's outlook may be neglected. That is not the case. We have more than 40% of federal positions in the cabinet that are occupied by women, which is a lot more than most nations today. And that's quite a testament to the fact of how progressive the country is, of how progressive the leadership is. The father of our nation, late His Highness Sheikh Zayed, who ensured that women have an equal footing in all leadership and executive positions. One example to give is because of the pandemic, a lot of people in the unorganized sector were the ones that were worst hit, and his Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum initiated a campaign called 10 million meals to ensure that everybody is having a meal in the country and nobody sleeps hungry. The entire initiative was spearheaded by Her Highness Sheikh Hind Al Maktoum, who is, of course, the lady who is also the chairperson of the UAE Food Bank. And only a woman is able to ensure that everybody is fed, whether it is in her house or whether it is in the country. So we are really thankful, and the campaign turned out to be very overwhelming because the leadership ensured that more than 14 million meals were prepared, not just 10. So everybody was generous enough to ensure that many could come forward and be a part of the campaign.
Thank you very much. This is very important to know that your leadership are maintaining the people. Everyone should be fed up and should be uh, provided food and everything, and you are providing treatment. You have great leadership, and of course, we are also doing great, and we have developed a lot of security services, tracing, and they're just doing great. We are also just planning for many charity activities. Every organization is working here to provide food for hungry people, and many are working. This is working very well. So, although the country is developing country here, we are facing a lot of problem. After the independence of 1971, we have developed a lot of. Now we are moving forward. Our internet security, our the leadership has developed. So that's why we are just discussing this kind of things for our youth development. We have 68% of population are youth, and they are thinking widely to develop it in a good position. So we have some a question. We have a question from Bilal Ahmed. UAE has experienced a rapid growth in infrastructures over the years, which is astonishing. My question is, what are the factors contributed towards so? Bilal Ahmed.
Thank you, Bilal. To be able to give you a very concise answer is that we always remember, to whom much is given, much is expected. The UAE has been blessed with a position in the Middle East that is quite neutral to the east and west. And it has been a contributing factor to ensure that substantial infrastructure is created so that we are able to capitalize on the wealth of the nation, which is the people. The people come first always. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, our Supreme Commander, has always ensured that people come first. We have to learn, we have to ensure that all our activities are for the people. Our infrastructure, the security, sanity, everything is number one in the not just in the GCC but most positions in the world, which is extremely important because we are a peace loving country. We ensure that everybody over here is equally taken care of, and then the spend comes to ensure that everybody leads a secure and a good life, a comfortable life. And for a comfortable life, you need to have the best infrastructure. You have to be number one in everything that you do. So, substantial stress on infrastructure, on technology, on easy transition from human to technology, and ensuring that we create a knowledge based economy and also have a knowledge based infrastructure for everybody. So, along the lines of not just creating physical, tangible infrastructure, but there has been substantial contribution to create an intangible infrastructure to prepare our youth for tomorrow, to ensure that all turn out to be equally competitive with the moving times. So, whether you haven't mentioned whether it is tangible, but I will mention both. whether it is intangible or tangible infrastructure. The UAE, the factors that have contributed for the UAE has been, yes, most definitely the leadership and the drive and the passion that they have for each one of us that has the foot here in the country, to ensure that everybody leads a comfortable life. And we have a position in the world that every one of us can be equally proud of.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Bilal Ahmed, for asking this kind of questions. Many are asking questions on our watch party. Would you please comment on the on our main live so that we can show your comment on the screen? So thank you. We are discussing about the youth development, leadership development. Of course, this is global develop leadership facts. Dubai is doing great, and that's why UAE has a lot of infrastructure. They have good leadership. Their citizens are doing great, and their leaders in corporate world also getting a lot of experiences from our their main leaders. So thank you very much for sharing very informative knowledges here. Bilal Ahmed said, thanks a lot. Bilal Ahmed, thank you for joining with us. And who are you watching from Oyer? Please comment on the comment box. And we'd like to take a lot of question from you. And as we are talking about global leadership, we have Arshi. She is the CEO of Trust with Trade Group UAE, and she's the alumni of University of Oxford. I told you again and again. She is also senior advisor to Royal Family Office UAE. So she can answer you any type of question about global leadership, about Dubai facts, and she is also working at this moment as CEO of Trust with Trade Group. So we are talking about our leaders who are young, who are energetic, and what kind of preparation is very important with their CVs. For example, linguistic facts. Our people are much interested to learn English to fight in the global competition. What do you think? Should they learn also Arabic for Arab world?
Yes, Aman, I would say linguistic skills are extremely important, not just if you need to work in the Arabic countries or if you need to work with any country. Linguistic benefit is equally important, whether it is a French or very good command on English language or Arabic, for that matter, any native languages. But it is important, I always say that it is important to learn at least four international languages. When you have one of your own native, one is English, and at least two more that you need to know in terms of your own knowledge, because work is going to take you places. We live in a time where expansion has become at the as easy as being on your phones and to be able to communicate with people. So it is important to learn at least two more other international languages, at least the basics, or study them so that it becomes easier for you to understand and communicate with a lot of people coming from different backgrounds, ethnicities, and so on. Fortunately, English being the universally accepted language, it is extremely very important and critical to have a good command on English language. And for that, my suggestion to anybody would be read as much as you can and try to converse as much as you can in English, because that is the only way you improve your command over the language. Only reading alone doesn't help. To ensure that you put it to practical implementation, to ensure that you're always in conjunction with speaking the language is equally important. And that is how you can build yourself around the language. Very important to have good linguistic skills, because that's how a lot of people are able to view us. Fortunately, the Gulf countries have moved on to ensure that we are linguistically able. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, has an initiative which ensures, it's the vision that everybody needs to be fluent in English, which is extremely important because universally this is the language that is most spoken. And then, of course, by the United Nations, we have languages like Spanish, French, Arabic that are also equally spoken. So, yes, important to have very good hold in spoken and reading, both for English and any other language. Important to go practicing it. Very important.
Thank you very much. And I have been talking with our people for a long time that we have to have a minimum 4 to 5 languages to be spot on. And that's why I have a little girl, and she's 4.5 years old. So I'm just teaching her Arabic and sometimes Spanish. So I'm just developing her. I have to finish five minimum languages, 5 languages within 7 years. So I'm just teaching. I'm just trying to just prepare her to meet with you guys in the world
So that's
competition.
extremely nice. I think at that young age, they are able to catch it faster versus to
Yeah.
people who meet later, because then they are extremely raw and nascent, and those stages it's easier to understand and learn the language better.
Yes. And 3 to 7 is the perfect age for any international language catching. Uh,
Correct.
Kids
And
can do that.
also very important amount to embrace individual native languages as well, because that is number one. You have to forget, you cannot forget what your footing is. You have to be extremely proud of your ethnicity. Have your language as your first language. Very important. If you come from Bangladesh, you need to have your own language being number one. Second should be any other language that you learn. Third and fourth, yes, you need to learn other languages, but very important also to embrace your own individual native language, because that is your ethnicity and one should be extremely proud of their ethnicity.
Okay, thank you very much. And who are you watching from Oyer? Please comment. And we are here to answer you many questions. I have a guardian questions or participant question maybe. Hello, I'm a student from Standard 8. I just wanted to know how can I join the competition. Yes, she is maybe asking about English Olympiad. So please visit EnglishOlympiad.net. This is our website. We have all the information there. We are of course preparing for our preparation is going on for international activities. We are going to organize English Olympiad in 30 countries this time. This is going to be Global English Olympiad, and we are including Dubai also. We have activities going on there, and that's why we are getting a lot of connection with people like Arshi, and she's working as CEO of Trust with Great Group. And I, of course, would like to offer her join with our English Olympiad program in Dubai also, because we are just connected here as a friend. She will support us there, inshallah. And you can just compete at English Olympiad just visiting our website, English Olympiad. And thank you very much. This is important to know. We are organizing this kind of competition programs for our yachts. Maybe they will just lead the world after some day. And as English is one of the most important communication language, communicative language, we can just learn it. And I'm also supporting everyone and suggesting everyone to learn Arabic. It's important because if you are going to Dubai and you don't know Arabic, it is so sad. So they have to learn Arabic also. And I'm watching some videos of Arabic learning language, one part something, and there I have something great. And this is great also to know something from you. And people just know that Dubai is working in Arabic. No, they are working with English. They have great people, CEO like Arshi, Ayub, and they have skilled people who are just coming from Oxford, and they have now great universities like Sheikh Zayed University. I know some professors from there. They're doing great, awesome. So you can ask a lot of things about Dubai and leadership. I have a question from Mohamed Arif Mustafa Kamal. He's the divisional coordinator and a good soul. Assalamu alaikum, madam. Welcome from English Olympiad Chittagong Division. We are really glad to have you with us in this informative session. Eid Mubarak. Thank you, Aman Bhaiya, for hosting such a nice session. Oh, okay. Thank you, Arif. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, we would like to have some question from you. And we have a professor from Chittagong University who came from USA some days ago and serving our country. Said, Mr. Shahabuddin, brother, Assalamu alaikum. And he has a question also. How can we avoid denial leadership? Okay. Okay, we will answer the question. Of course, our guest is working here, and I would like to introduce again. We have a guest from Dubai. She is Arshi Ayub Mohamed Zaveri, and she is the CEO of Trust with Trade Group, and she is working as senior advisor to Royal Family Office Dubai or UAE, and she is alumni of University of Oxford. And thank you very much for giving us time here today for the people of Bangladesh. And we are grateful to you. And we are taking the question.
Thank you so much for the kind wishes to the previous comment as well. Eid Mubarak, and we're really happy to take much more of questions and understand how we can associate with each other in terms of exchanging viewpoints. Yes, most definitely. In terms of avoiding denial leadership, I think we can understand where the reference and the context comes from, but what I can say about this particular thing is that it is not about how we can avoid it, but it is also in terms of how we can work together. Because certain times these are leaders that have been elected in most democracies by us ourselves, or by our own community, or by the people that live in our similar federal and state governments. So when you speak about denial leaderships, that's most present only in the most of democracies. It doesn't exist in most monarchies, because here the leaders are extremely working very passionately towards ensuring that everybody is in conjunction with the model of leadership. So denial leadership is more existent in most democracies, and to be able to deal with it is in terms of being resilient, in terms of hanging in there, ensuring that you are able to find ways to maneuver for your own self, for your own community, because there is only so much that you can individually do, and there's only so much that the leadership also can individually do. But everybody has to serve their own agenda, and to be able to serve our own, we must keep strict focus on our own. So it's extremely important to ensure that we are able to work and work in conjunction and stay resilient, because we may have models of denial leadership, but today is also a time where we can constantly we can help each other, support each other, and understand and emulate examples set by other leaders. So most probably learn. I think most monarchies today have set an example that democracies can emulate.
Thank you very much. This is important. We will not deny the leadership. We will make a collaboration. We will work together. This is important. And for this kind of pandemic situation, of course, we have to remember we are not a single human being who are fighting this kind of thing. All have to be uh, very, very uh, good soul and good-hearted people to work together, and togetherness can develop our leadership also. So
Very
we
important.
have another. Yeah, please
Very
continue.
important also, Aman, to add to that, to what you mentioned, that it is not always the leadership that defines what really happens in your own individual life. One has to equally take charge, because we all are equally responsible for what happens. Today, despite most economies reopening, state governments, a lot of countries are looking at slow and steady measures to reopen and ensure that the effects of the pandemic can be contained. But it is also upon individual responsibility as to how we deal with it. We can't always blame the governments to be able to ensure they have economies to run. They have to ensure that the economies are running, and for us to ensure and respect the work that has been put in by the front line, by the policemen, the health workers, those essential job earners. We have to ensure we make pay, and we have to respect the guys that are on the front line. And the way you can respect them is by ensuring that you maintain social distance, you maintain good standards of hygiene. Wearing a mask is extremely important to ensure that you're able to comply with the laws and the guidelines that have been put down by individual state governments. Very important. Always work together with the government in these times, because nobody had anticipated the pandemic. Nobody was actually prepared to deal with the pandemic of this scale. Hence, very important to ensure that whether it is in denial or not, we have to work alongside of the leadership. Very important.
Thank you very much. This is important also to thank our people who are here working, the policemen in Bangladesh. They are good-hearted here, and we have been just blaming them for a long time. They are not supporting people, but in this pandemic moment, they are the only people who are supporting us in the front line from the administration. Some doctors are doing great, and our people who are serving socially and the people who are securing the country, the frontline fighters. Thank you, all of them. Thanks to the frontline fighters who are just also working here and working the whole world. Thank you, Ms. Arshi. And we are here. Another question. We have another question from Iqbal E. Rasool. He's also a professor of English department. He's working at Asian University for Women, and she's faculty. He's faculty here. And thank you for making the time, Ms. Javeri. What kind of changes have you been through officially and in this pandemic situation? If anyone is recruited for a leading position, what would be the changed preferences or expectations from the end of the employers? Great question, of course.
Thank you very much, Mr. Iqbal Irasul. Most definitely, there have been a lot of changes that organizations and institutions have individually partaken to ensure that leaders and the employees and the ones that need to be employed come with a certain headspace. Very important to deal with people who can maintain their calm in in circumstances like this, because it is very easy to get swayed away by crisis. But these are real crises. It's not just a monetary, but these are life-threatening crises. And to be able to keep a very calm head and to ensure that we are empathetic, we worry about each other, we care about each other. And that is something that we have learned from our leadership in the UAE. Our founding father, His Highness late Sheikh Zayed, had ensured that it is very, very important to think about each other, important to stay compassionate, and also the kind of preferences and expectations from employees. Yes, like I said, preferences and employees' technical expectations or preferences don't change, of course. But what changes is how you deal with crisis, and what is it that you think about when you're first hit with crisis. How is it that you deal with your team? How is it that you motivate them? Very important, because everybody is equally affected. Nobody is less or more. We are all worried about the well-being of each and everybody in our community, not just in our companies. So very important to keep everybody motivated, keep you self-motivated, ensure that uh, everybody is in the right headspace to function once we can mitigate the effects or reduce and lessen the effects of the pandemic. So a mental well-being and somebody who's very headstrong, very, very important at this time. That's something that we've come out to ensure that whoever needs to be employed in leadership positions comes with being extremely headstrong.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the answer. So now the situation is we have to be survive. We have to survive. Then we have to be quite well, and we have to care our uh, loving people, especially for our older people, younger people. We have to serve them. My mom was just crying on the Eid day because everyone is apart from her. She has four sons, one daughter. Everyone is out of her touch, and she was talking with live, but she couldn't just see them, touch them, and that was the sad thing. And she was crying. What a world she is observing now, right? So this is very important to support them. And
From my side to your mother and everybody in your family, and my heartiest wishes for everybody who couldn't be able to meet. A lot of people were not able to meet their family members during Eid, and we're hoping that the pandemic and the effects can slow down so that together everybody can again come and ensure that families reunite, which is very, very important. But also ensure that people of a certain age and with chronic ailments are able to ensure that they stay in quarantine, because the effects are extremely unknown and it's different person to person. Some can contain it, some are not able to deal with it. Hence, very important that anybody above the age of 60 and with any chronic ailments have to stay within the boundaries of social distancing and quarantine. But my best wishes to everybody in your family.
Thank you very much. I must just carry the wishes to my mom, and she'll be happy to know that uh, you are just wishing her. Thank you. We have another question from Mohamed Habuddin. I told you about him. He's a professor of Zhejiang University, and he's working for the society also. He's working for the nature in this pandemic. He's working great also. So we see that many people are here joining with us. They are university faculty also, not only the young leaders, but they are young enough to lead their team, and they are organizing social activities. So the question is, are we getting new style of leadership in this pandemic situation?
I think something that has never been brought before. I don't think anybody in their own individual lives has experienced a pandemic. Our own ancestors, probably who are in two generations, might have not experienced a pandemic. Hence, a pandemic leadership is something that we are all looking at, which is contingency, and how can you deal in some certain these kind of crisis where the only solution to deal with it is with strong leadership, and to ensure that everybody in your country is equally taken care of. There is no bias based on gender, age, ethnicity, very, very important, or economic status, which is very important. Everybody deserves an equal chance to live. Everybody who is within an age also deserves an equal chance to live. There are instances where we hear that in most countries people are choosing the younger ones to live, and the people who are of a certain age probably deserve home quarantine and they don't deserve medical facilities. These are the kind of instances that we come across, which is extremely heartening, because it is very, very important that everybody equally deserves a chance to live, and there shouldn't be a single round of discrimination based on gender, age, ethnicity, or economic status. It is very important to look at that. So, pandemic leadership probably is something that we all can look at, and how today the world leaders are able to cope with that. I think the Gulf countries, more specifically the UAE, which we are very, very proud of, the leaders have ensured that despite low medical facilities, we are able to create hospitals and medics in time, so that even the residents and citizens both are equally taken care of. There is absolutely no bias whether you are a local citizen or not. His Highness Sheikh Zayed, our founding father of the UAE, once mentioned that anybody who sets a foot in the UAE is a citizen. So everybody who is also a resident is an equally important part of the country, which is extremely important to know. That this kind of leadership is the only one which is sustainable, to care for your people. And this is the only one that takes you forward globally.
Thank you very much. This is important, and we should be careful about people who are in my country. They are also the victim in this pandemic moment. We shouldn't divide people because of their country and their location. Of course, even not with religious facts and everything, because we all are human beings with all the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, this is important because everyone is now observing the facts that have to have food, their security, and especially their health development and health care. So thank you very much from our side. We are very grateful to you from Bangladesh, especially from the Team EO, English Olympiad team. And we are having another question from Mohamed Arif Mustafa Kamal. He's divisional coordinator of English Olympiad. Dear Ms. Arshi, you guide us how we can practice leadership in the field of education. How can we anticipate and measure opportunities and barriers in the upcoming days after the lockdown? Arif, has completed his master's from English department from Chittagong University. A result is not declared yet, and he is worried for result, of course. And he is the uh, fighter in the field of education. He's working a lot of thing with us at English Olympiad and out of. So he has a good soul for education, and he's looking for the guy.
Thank you so much, Arif. And in order to practice leadership in the space of education, I think everybody is learning with the time. We have never anticipated models of e-learning and ensuring that technology could be leveraged to ensure that maximum people can be educated via these kind of online mediums. And in order to anticipate the opportunities and barriers, I think. One can't really anticipate, and in the times that we are right now, being more realistic to you, we have to really wait and watch up until we have some sort of sustainable solutions to contain the pandemic, and then look at different models of education and leadership within education via technology, via blockchain, different models of blockchain integrated within to ensure that there is a decentralized system of imparting education. Barriers, yes, of course, the barriers that will be, which are very definite, and everybody is looking. It's pretty evident the kind of barriers that are faced during. Uh, I think most of the people are extremely fearful when it comes to any sort of gathering. Hence, I wouldn't completely discourage the fact that one should not look at gatherings, but definitely in the medium guidelines, and also complying with the regulation to ensure that there is sufficient distancing when even if you are intending a gathering. Hence, an e-learning module can't be completely adopted by every institution, right? We have to ensure that there is substantial interface in human to human time within the institution and the students or the professors and the students. So we can't really anticipate the effects of how the pandemic would turn the space in education, and also in every sector. It spans sector, because now is a time, it's a learning time for everybody globally. Nobody would have ever thought that we have to resort to methods of interactions via technology, and ensuring that students today are also coming up with different models of accepting this entire new reality that they are facing. But what could come out innovative is the different methods that students start adapting to e-learning for a more sustainable module. Hence, I would suggest that anybody in the education space should consider adapting modules that are very sustainable. Pandemic or even after a year, something that is really sustainable and not short term. E-learning cannot just be for 1 year. It needs to be adapted in a more larger term, and should be looked at it from a long-term solution in terms of ensuring that there could be learning within their own home grounds or within different modules, and not just in institutions or any sort of specific gatherings. Hence, look at more sustainable modules of imparting education.
Thank you very much. This is important. We have been working for a long time with the education field, and Arif is also working with us as divisional coordinator. And you'll be glad to know that we are developing ours from our side how to sustain it with learning. That is important. I think we have to have uh, differentiation from our side, how we can just face it and how we can make it better for our private sectors. Private sectors means, for example, English Olympiad is a platform. Here we are discussing matters about leadership, and many other community can come forward to develop ideas, so that government can take the idea for the implementation and can make a model for their own respective countries. So we are going to finish our question answer session, because here we have answered all the questions we have got. The video will be available on our YouTube and Facebook page. You can enjoy it a long time. The viewers, you can see them, and hopefully we will work together for more time get more questions from our guest. Now, I would like to ask you to give a final line for our viewers who are enjoying it and who will enjoy it.
Thank you so much, everybody. I look forward to interact with as many people as I can because at this point, it is only the insights from our individual sides that will help each other maintain and upkeep of their mental well-being. My heartfelt gratitude and best wishes for all the frontliners across the world, specific to Bangladesh, to other countries in the subcontinent who are continuously working to ensure that they are no less than soldiers at this point. They are ensuring that everybody else in their homes are safe. So it is upon our responsibility to ensure that we maintain that mark of respect and also ensure that we aren't irresponsible, which is very important. Everybody from the UAE, my heartfelt gratitude to our leadership and the entire cabinet and the ministries and the government who are continuously working around the clock to ensure that each one of us are safe in our homes. Like I mentioned, they are at this point they are no less than soldiers for any one of us. So thank you very much, and my best wishes to everybody who is looking forward to different opportunities for employment, because hang in there. There will be plenty of employment opportunities in the next couple of months. To do not feel low by any chances or by any means. Don't feel demoralized because this is the only thing that we have. Hope will keep us going, and it is easy to have hope. Hence, have it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's easy to have it. It will help you in the most of times where you feel low. Hence, keep the hope, keep the morale up, be self motivated. Ensure that you are keeping your mental well being at priority, and ensure that everybody else around you is also equally safe and secure. Also, my gratitude and best wishes to Aman for conducting such beautiful, wonderful series and ensuring that everybody is able to have a first-hand channel of communication with the students and people from all across the business diaspora. So, thank you very much, Aman, and you're doing great work. Eid Mubarak to everybody who's watching and everybody in the country, because this is the best we can do via technology, but we ensure that we're able to see each other sometime in human to human interface, inshallah. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we are grateful to you. We thank you from Bangladesh, especially from Team EO. English Olympiad is a great team here working with many people. We are a team leading by 4,000 campus ambassadors. Our each and every campus ambassador and English Olympiad team is grateful to you. Thank you for joining with us. Thank you for supporting us from Dubai.
Thank you very much,
Uh,
Imam. Assalamu alaikum,
Thank you.
and everybody, please
Assalamu
keep
alaikum. We are ending from live and we'll be in the studio, inshallah. Thank you.
safe.